The Health and Human Services Commission is the state agency that receives the appropriations from the legislature for domestic violence programs. There's around 60 domestic violence programs, family violence centers in the state, and they receive funding from the Health and Human Services Commission. This last session, leading up to this last session, the Health and Human Services Commission asked for $56.9 million from the legislature to fund both core domestic violence services and what are called exceptional item funding. So for the core services, that was $53.9 million, and as you know, that's a biennial figure to support turning on the lights, buying food, paying rent, all of the core things that a domestic violence center has to provide per our statute. So that $53.9 million was for core services, and then in addition, because of the great need that Texas is experiencing related to domestic violence, they asked for $3 million in exceptional item funding. This go around, they asked for this funding to support legal services, economic options for survivors, domestic violence fatality review, and prevention activities. They also saved a little room for mental health responses within domestic violence programs. So those basically 4 areas were areas of emphasis for the exceptional item funding request. That total amount, $56.9 million, represents a $3 million increase from last session. So we were very excited that the agency had requested that. And in fact, when we worked through our advocacy during session, we really we worked hard to deliver the message that 84,000 Texans received services last year alone. That's both in shelter services and non-residential help. We also know that 132 women were killed by their male intimate partner in 2014 alone. And then we also know that 39% of all people that show up to a domestic violence center are turned away due to lack of space and resources. So 84,000 people served, 132 women killed, and 39% turn-away rate. That tells us in a nutshell, and told the legislature in a nutshell, that, hey, this is a priority, we need to prioritize. And so they agreed with us, and they appropriated $56.9 million to support the domestic violence programs. And like I say, that's the core services as well as exceptional item funding.